Today we will study about the important battles which was led by the Muhammad Ghori. So the first battle is first battle of Tarin. In 1191 CE, Ghori attacked Prithvi Raj Chauhan, the Rajput ruler of Delhi and Ajmer. So in the year 1191 CE, Muhammad Ghori attacked Prithvi Raj Chauhan and he was the Rajput ruler of Delhi and Ajmer. Prithviraj inflicted, that means caused a crushing defeat on Ghori in the first battle of Tarin. So, in the first battle of Tarin, Muhammad Ghori was defeated by Prithvi Raj Chauhan. Ghori returned the following years to avenge the humiliation of his defeat. So, once he was defeated by the Prithvi Raj Chauhan in the first battle of Tarin, again Ghori returned the next year, that is 1192 CE, to take revenge. That means to take revenge of whatever the humiliation which was done by the Prithvi Raj Chauhan. Next is second battle of Tarin. Prithviraj organized a confederacy, that means come together, of Rajput chief to meet the challenge. So after the first battle of Tarin, Prithviraj organized a you can say joint sitting meeting in which all the Rajput ruler chiefs or head was ordered to meet. Unfortunately, the most powerful Rajput ruler Raja Jayachandra of Kannauj refused to help him. So, one of the most powerful Rajput ruler, that is Raja Jayachandra, refused to help the Prithvi Raj Chauhan. The armies of the Rajput and Ghori clashed in the second battle of Tarin in 1192 CE. So, in the year 1192 CE, again Ghori was returned. Ghori returned and finally he defeated the Prithvi Raj Chauhan in the second battle of Tarin. This time Muhammad Ghori ruled the Rajput army. So whatever the area which was under the Prithvi Raj Chauhan, it was finally captured by Muhammad Ghori. The defeat of Prithvi Raj marked the end of the Rajput rule in North India. So when the Prithvi Raj Chauhan was defeated by the Muhammad Ghori in the second battle of Tarin, the Rajput rule come to an end in the North India. The kingdom of Delhi passed into the hands of Muhammad Ghori. The throne of Delhi was occupied by Muslim ruler from them till 1858. So when Muhammad Ghori captured the whole Delhi area, it was occupied by Muslim rulers till 1858. 2 years after the after the second battle of Tarin, Muhammad attacked Kannauj and killed Jayachandra. So after 2 years of second battle of Tarin, Muhammad Ghori attacked Kannauj and finally killed Jayachandra. He annexed the Indian territories to his empire and appointed Kutubuddin Aibak as his viceroy before returning to Ghor. So once he captured the area of Kannauj, he finally made Kutubuddin Aibak as his viceroy and finally he returned to Ghor from where he had come. Kutubuddin captured the fort of Kalinjar in Bundelkhand and Anhilwara in Gujarat and extended Ghori's empire to other parts of North India such as Mathura, Gwalior and Malwa. So once the Kutubuddin Aibak was given the title as the viceroy, he captured the areas of Bundelkhand, Anhilwara and Mathura, Gwalior and Malwa, and finally he extended the territory of the Muhammad of Ghori which he had given to Kutubuddin Aibak. Another great general of Ghori, that is Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khalji, swept across Bihar with his army and overthrew the Sena dynasty of Bengal. So near the Bihar and Bengal area, one of the great emperor of the Muhammad of Ghori, named as Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khilji, he captured the area of Bihar and Bengal. Many Buddhist monasteries and libraries were wantonly destroyed by the invaders. These invaders dealt a death blow to Buddhism in India. So many rulers of the Muhammad Ghori, they have destroyed different Buddhist monasteries and library, and hence in the Bihar the Buddhism culture or religion was destroyed. A few monks managed to escape to Tibet with their manuscript. Buddhism continues to flourish in Tibet. So when the Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khilji attacked the Bengal and Bihar area, a few monks had managed to escape from there, and finally they went to Tibet. That means at present this place is known as China, with the Buddhism manuscript, and Buddhism started spreading through Tibet. Muhammad Ghori was not a great military leader as Muhammad of Ghazni, or did he patronize art and learning like him. Yet some historians regarded him as the founder of the Turkish kingdom in India with its capital Delhi. Though Muhammad Ghori was not a great military leader as Mahmud of Ghazni, but still the historian they regard him as the founder of the Turkish kingdom in India, and during the Turkish kingdom in India the capital was Delhi.